Hi everybody, it's Mr. Oakes, and today we're going to talk about how to describe a set of numerical data. Now there's a number of different ways we could do this. Some are much more involved and can be very time consuming and kind of get very specific on how they describe data. What we're going to talk about today is the three basic ways we can describe data, which is mean, median, and mode. The mean is the average of the data. You could think of it like when you take your test grades and you see how many tests you have, add up all the grades and divide by how many tests you had, and that's your test average. The median is exactly what it kind of sounds like. It's the middle value. We use that to kind of get an idea of where kind of the middle value, where the spread of the value is. These are below this value, these are above this value, how do things fall in that way. The last one is called the mode. This one's kind of simple. Basically, it's what shows up the most. You can have only one mean, you can have only one median, but you can have no mode, one mode, or just basically 2, 3, 4, depending on the data, you could have a bunch of modes. So you basically, if two or more things are showing up the most, then you have two or more modes. If everything is showing up the same amount, well, there's no mode because nothing's showing up the most. So let's take a look at some data and let's figure out these three things. So we have here, find the mean, median, and mode of the following data. 3, 7, 5, 2, 3. So in order for us to find the mean, the average, what we're going to do is we're going to add these 5, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of data. We're going to add those 5 things together, and then whatever they sum up to, we're going to divide that by 5 in this case. Remember, it's however many numbers there are. So we have 3 plus 7 plus 5 plus 2 plus 3. Add that all together, you go in your calculator, we get that this adds up to 20. Okay? If you're wondering, 3 plus 7, that's 10. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus another 5 is 10. 10 plus 10, that gives us 20. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So I'm going to take that 20, divide it by 5. 20 divided by 5 is 4. So our mean is 4. And now notice, this average 4 is not one of the numbers there. Doesn't have to be. Alright? It's basically when we take this and we weigh everything, where does everything kind of fall around? If we had to randomly say, well, it's about this, the mean is 4. Alright, we expect that the average, the most likely thing was going to happen is we're going to have a 4 in there. It's not always the case, but that's basically what mean means. Mean means. Mean. The next one, the median, is the middle value. Now, here's the thing. It's got to be put in order. Your data has to be put in order. Notice, 3, 7, 5, 2, 3. This is not in order. So I have to rewrite this so that it is in order. So I'm going to look, I'm going to go, okay, well I got 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross it out each time. 2. I got 1, 3. I've got another 3. I've got a 5. And I've got a 7. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and look and say, well, what's halfway between? There's a couple ways we can figure this out. I can kind of count and point at the two end numbers and kind of bring it in. 1, 2. Oh, I need a 3. Okay? So there's our median. Another way I could do this is to basically say, well, how many numbers do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, well, 5 is an odd number, so I can't divide it in half nicely. So what I do is I usually add 1. What's 5 plus 1? 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So when I look, I'm going to count from either side. I'm going to go to whatever the third number is. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I wind up always in the middle number, which just in this case happens to be 3. So I have 3. That's how we can do that. The last thing is mode. Now this one's really simple because all I have to do is look and say, well, what number shows up the most? 3. It shows up twice. Everything else only shows up once. So 3. So now we have our mean, median, and mode. Our mean is 4. Our median is 3. Our mode is 3. There we go. So if we look at the next one, find the mean, median, and mode for the following data. You'll notice a lot of data. 6, 3, 7, 7, 9, 2, 1, 12, 9, 8. A lot of numbers there. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add these all up. Because I have a limited amount of space, I'm going to do a little cheat here. Plus, 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 plus. So I add those all up, and what I get is 64. Alright, you can check me, feel free to, and if you see that I misadded, because I didn't use a calculator, I did this by hand. I'm that kind of guy. I did this by hand, and this added up to 64. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 values here. Well, 64 divided by 10, make that look like a 10, is 6.4. So, my mean, and I'm going to write this down here, is 6.4. Yes, it can be a decimal. That's fine. Alright? So, now let's find the median. I got to put this in order. This is going to be a tough one because there's a lot of numbers and I have to keep track. So, what's the first one? I got a 1. 1's definitely small. Let me cross that out. I've got a 2. Any other 2's? Nope. Cross that out. I've got a 3. Let me double check. Any more 3's? No. 4. Nope. No 5's, but I got this 6 right here. 6. Got a 7. Got another 7. Ooh. I gotta remember that for later. There's an 8. A 9. Another 9. And a 12. So now I had 10 numbers. So half of 10 is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's a 7. I'm going to underline that. Let me go from the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another 7. Now, notice I didn't land on the same exact number. Alright? They're two different 7s because they're two different pieces of data. So what I do is I don't just write 7. I have to then find the average of those two. This just happens to be really easy. I've got a 7, I've got a 7, add them together, 14, divided by 2, I'm back at 7. So here, my median is going to be 7. Now, if I'm dealing with whole numbers, if there were two different whole numbers, there's a very good possibility that I could get something that, a number that doesn't add up, or I should say, a number that doesn't divide as nicely. Let's say we ended at the 7 and the 8. Those add up to 15. 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. That could be a median, sorry. But that's okay. We can have a decimal. Heck, even if we had decimals, we might wind up with an even smaller decimal, you know? So, last thing we do is we're going to look for our mode. So I look, I have 2 sevens. So 2 sevens, that's more than, I only have 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 1 6. I got 2 sevens, so 7 could be the mode, 1 8, but then I have 2 nines. So I have 2 sevens and 2 nines. Those show up more than anything else in the data, so our mode, or modes really, are 7 and 9. So in the last one we had more than one mode. We had a median that actually had the in between two numbers, which also happens to wind up to be the same number. And our mean was a decimal. And that's okay. Okay? So these are the 3 basics. Mean, the average, median, the middle, and the mode, the ones that show up the most. I hope this was helpful. Have a good day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again soon.